Howdy folks, and welcome back to the Sony A6000. We're going to take a look at this bad boy, we're going to open it up, we're going to unbox it, treat it real nice. Let's get started. So you can see on the front, this is obviously the official digital camera of FIFA World Cup Brazil. You know, that's super relevant. If we look at the stats on this page, CMOS sensor, Bion, CPU, something, Wi-Fi, DLNA, that's an acronym I've heard of. We get 24.3 megapixels, better than the NEX5 or NEX6. Fast hybrid autofocus, this is one of the things I'm really excited about, is the ability to really just focus real quick. A lot of the tests so far have been real positive. 11 frames a second, also pretty excited about being able to really get that burst rate up. It's going to be great. You notice there aren't too many stats under this OLED True Finder. They probably didn't mention that since it's a little bit worse than it used to be on the NEX6, but there it is. That's a lot of text. On this side, that's a lot more text. On the back, a bunch of Sony branding, play memories, that's their application store. It's kind of weird that they need 3 different ones to include that. 4K still image, in little tiny text right there, still image, because when you think of 4K, what you think of is still images. And on this side, let's see, we've got accessories that we can purchase for too much money. Rechargeable battery pack, yeah, you're going to need one of those. If you don't have one, you're going to need it. If you don't run out of battery by the end of the day, you haven't taken enough pictures. But what you really want, you want the battery charger, because this doesn't come with one. You're going to want an external battery charger. Case, sure, fine, if you want to be trendy like that. Flash, you don't want this one. Stereo microphone, yeah, that's the way to get microphone input on this effectively. Might be useful for some people, going to be useful for me. I'll probably end up picking one up. $100, that's a little pricey for it, but you know what? It's a lot cheaper than the step up to an A7. Remote control tripod for all of your loneliest photographers out there. And we're back to the beginning. So let's open this thing up, see what's inside. For US customers only. This is not a world camera. Interesting. Warranty, no idea. Right. Lenses and accessories, more money. Register, oh, don't want to register my product. Might have to black that out if that came up on screen. Whatever. Who needs a manual, right? Oh, there's the actual manual. Instruction manual, E-mount. Fantastic. Alright, a bunch of text on there. Obviously not super critical. Alright, it's a little bit hard to see what's inside here. We've got USB charger. Really, this is just a wall wart with a USB plug. I'm assuming the cable's in here somewhere. The battery. Same battery as the NEX5 or NEX7. The Sony W series. Yeah, kind of get that W. It's upside down. It's an M. W series. This is probably not charged. We're going to kind of skip that. We've got one over here that probably is. We have a, looks like, let's see if we can focus here. Component for the eyepiece. Yeah, little rubber grip. It's a little bit more solid than I'd like. It's not really rubber. Kind of looks like it, but it's a little more solid. We have a strap. Open it up, it's pretty decently long. Not focusing on this. Pretty decently long. Same style in the NEX5 and NEX6. This is a little thicker, a little sturdier. It's kind of a leather feel. Too close to the camera. Kind of a leather feel to it. USB charging cord to go with that wall wart. And I'll plug one in here. That's not a solid connection. It's stiff but feels cheap. The cord feels a little cheap. Micro USB on this end. Whoop, way out of camera. Micro USB on this end. by default, that's what you have to use to charge it. Like I said before, you're going to want an external charger. And here we go. We've got a tag that says all sorts of things. All the same stuff that we got on the outside. Great. Wrapped up in a sheet of paper. And here we are. Welcome to the NEX A6000. I think I might have said NEX 6 a few times in this review, but A6000, here's what we're looking at. Little dongly thing there. Feels nice. The plastic up here feels real nice. It's solid. Take a look at the back. You can see my camera and me in the reflection. It's a very shiny screen. Doesn't appear to have any reflector on it. Let's start it on one side and just keep working our way around. On this side we have the power zoom. I got the default kit lens on this. Power zoom, it doesn't move a lot. Under here we got, what is this, the looks like multi-port and HDMI, micro HDMI. Yep. It's a solid door. It's not just a rubber thing. It's an actual click to it. That's nice. We've got dangly things for the strap. A lot of people were real excited about these. I'm not. Anytime you're doing video, they're just going to jangle around. Yeah. Kind of annoying. Same time, it's kind of hard to take off. But a little bit of tape will fix that. All right, if you look at the front. Nice little lens hood. Does not the same size as the any of the other E-mount kit lenses. Smaller. It doesn't feel like it actually sits in there right. It feels like it should go in further. As you can see, f3.5 to 5.6. It's the 16 to 50 zoom. It's a nice size. It's kind of a bit of a pancake zoom, though. Be a little tough to fit that in your pocket. Got your back in the front. We've got button to, let's see if you can get that on. There we go. Button to attach the lens. Comes off. APS-C size sensor, as we're used to. Looks like there may be an additional plug or two down at this end. That's interesting. I'll have to check that. I believe this light here, little LED. Up in there, I believe that's the autofocus assist. Maybe this is the IR control. I may have those backwards. God, what else is in the front? If we take a look at these buttons, here's the on, off. It's not quite as solid as I would have liked. It certainly works. And a custom button. There are a series of custom buttons on this. Shutter button is also here on the on-off. Feels a little plasticky. We also got this nice battery grip that sticks out. Gives you a nice handhold. Fits rather securely. It feels comfortable. For as thin as this thing is, it's a nice addition. And it's kind of where the battery has to go, right? So, on this side we have the NFC tap spot thing, and the movie record button sticking out. Feels a little bit tough to press, but it's not as bad as the NEX 5s with the button up here that got in the way with the screen. Let's jump to the top. We'll save the back for last. We've got a mode dial. Let's see, we've got panorama mode. Movie mode, that is new for the A6000, I believe, or the NEX 6, I believe, might have had that. But good feature nonetheless. It's nicer than having to always reach over here. These are memory recall settings, so you can configure a custom setting and then kind of pick between one or two, I believe. We'll find out. And then the usual manual, shutter, aperture, and program auto. And then the two intelligent autos. Maybe wrong on the P. Scene, SCN. Not sure what that one does. We'll have to find out. Also on the top we have the hybrid hot shoe thing. We've got a dial. If you've had any of the NEXs, you're probably familiar with this dial. feels nice. It's a bit clickier, moves quickly, a little harder to fit the move dial. It's about what you'd expect. Also on the top we have a flash. Let's see if we can pop that up without power. Yep. So we got a flash that pops up. It's real tiny. This is the sort of camera you don't really need to flash too often on. You can kind of flex it a bit, maybe you know, hold it back and reflect it off something. That's a nice feature to have. Pops back down, real compact. Gets out of the way when you don't need it. Let's see, we've seen every side except for the bottom. Got quarter 20, slot 4 battery and memory card. Now let's take a look at this back here. Alright, we can get into focus. Focus, focus. There we go. Can't reflect the camera, that's the trick. Alright, let's see, we've got our dial here, button, directional pad, similar to other NEX cameras, a function button. I believe that might have been similar to what the button that was up on the trigger on the NX5R. Play is moved down here, which is a fine spot for it, though it used to be one of the custom buttons, which was nice. I guess there's the custom 2, which also acts as delete here. The usual mix of buttons on the dial itself. Is that autofocus? AEL. I'm going to sound really stupid because I don't know what that acronym stands for. Menu buttons up here. Decent spot for it. Flash button. Pops it up. It's a physical button. We also have the usual adjustment for the OLED viewfinder. Screen itself is obviously reflective. I keep reflecting things in it. Hinges. Hinges down flat. Up is avoiding that the sensor on the OLED viewfinder a bit. When looking down, it does not go as far down as other NEXs have, which is maybe a little unfortunate. I did use that a few times, but I can see why they made that change. So, feels about as solid as all the other NEX viewfinders, screens rather. Feels nice. Underneath the screen, let's see what there's some text, warnings and stuff. Fantastic. Alright, let's pop a battery in and flip through the menus. At some point I'll talk about the optical quality, but I think I want to get some more time with it. Spend a little bit more time to do an actual review. So, see you after the cut. Alright, let's power this bad boy on. Yeah. That pops out quite a bit. I've already actually powered this on once before and flipped through some of the modes real quickly. What we're going to do though is we're going to take a look at the menus. We are going to flip through kind of quickly. These are not the NX menus. These are much more cleanly laid out, and it's very easy to jump between these sections by just using the arrow keys here. Let's flip through the list. You can always freeze frame. If you have any questions, let me know. I've already set this to RAW and JPEG. It's not by default. Record settings, we have the US standards, it looks like. Like I said, this is not an international, this is not a world camera, US specific. Usual sorts of settings you would expect. There are quite a few devoted to autofocus. I'll have to play with those and see how manipulating them affects all of the images we take. Let's see, let's take a look at the ISO options. I don't know what this multi-frame NR means. We'll have to figure that one out. We have an auto separately from that auto. And the lowest we got ISO 100, and at the highest 25/600. Actually, if I take off, yeah, okay. If you look at this, you will notice I turned on zebra striping. I'm a little bit ahead of you guys. I went through this once already. Sorry, cheated. Great. Great, good options. I think 25/600 is the highest, if I didn't mention that. Let's see, usual settings for white balance. Looks like there's HDR built in. Have to play with that and see what that means. It used to be an app separate, the creative, one of the creative apps in the NX5. Usual set of creative styles, I believe. I don't think that has changed. More focusing, steady shot, color space. Shooting tip list, I believe, is just a, really it is just a tip list. It is not a enable disable. It is a tip list of tips. Wind noise reduction, yeah, let's turn that on. And the memory, I mentioned this MR mode here, and that comes back here. We have these 3 registers that we can store settings in. We can go through and adjust them individually. Let's see if I have to enter. Can I modify them directly? Seems just like scrolling through the settings. I'll have to figure out how to modify them. Apparently can't do it from this menu. Alright, next over Zebra, I've already turned this on. Real great feature for videographers. It's going to be real handy to spot out the areas that are overexposed, underexposed. Let's see. Usual settings for grid line. Not sure what that does. Peaking level. Peaking's been pretty good on the NEX line of cameras. Usually there's a separate one for manual lenses. It usually turns on for manual lenses. Let's turn it on and see what we get. Low. Usual peaking colors as well. Release without lens is an important one if you're shooting with something like this MD E-mount to Minolta MD lens adapter. There's no electronics in there, no pass-through. You need to turn that setting on in order to release the shutter. If you have an NEX5 or 6, you're probably already familiar with that one. But it's something that'll trip people up of why is my shutter releasing? Well, that's why. Oh, I think I skipped somewhere. There is a built-in bracketing option, which I don't believe existed on other NEX cameras, which is pretty great. Face detect. Okay, here are all the custom options. Function menu set. We can display all the options for. I believe this is a grid that displays when you hit the function button here. So here are all the options, and you can kind of position these in the screen and get a quick access to any of these. Which is something that I really appreciate, being able to have that customization. There's a second page here, function lower, so I think there's 2 lines. It used to be 6 and 6. Custom key settings, this must be C1, C2. Custom button 1. Quite a few options here as well. Though it looks a lot like the options from that quick access menu that we just looked at. Center button, that must be the button I'm keep clicking to select things, the center button in the middle of the control. Alright, you can control all, let's see, the left and right, not display or the exposure comp. Looks like those may be hard-coded. AL hold. Oh, auto exposure lock. That's the one I can't remember the acronym for. In camera guide. Okay. Is this the same? Yeah. Looks like about the same list, but maybe not exactly the same. Alright, next set of menus, Wi-Fi. You know, for the people that want Wi-Fi. Has an airplane mode. Great. Typical settings for Wi-Fi access, sure. Applications. Let's take a look at the applications. I have not logged into the Sony Play Memories app. We were not going to get much out of this. It's going to prompt me for a password. It's going to prompt me for Wi-Fi. Yeah, we won't be able to do this now. I don't know if there's any difference in the applications from the previous versions. The notable feature that this is missing, similar to other NEX cameras, is the time-lapse feature, which is an application that kind of nickel and dime you. I think it's $10 on that one, but it is quite nice to have that. This is playback options. Great. 4K still image PB. Interesting. Ooh, 6 more pages of options. Monitor brightness. Okay, great. You find your brightness. Great. Great. Let's take a look at that audio signals, actually. Let's figure out what that controls. I guess this is the control by remote. Great. HDMI resolution control. Great. USB connection. Great. More settings. File format stuff. The usual stuff you'd expect. Version setting reset. Great. We are back to the beginning. And yep, that's all the basics. Let's go through play. Oh, no memory card. Well, let's turn this off. And I will catch you guys next time. We'll talk about the actual image quality. See ya.